Hey babies, how are we doing? Um, Emma is back home, yeah, but she doesn't live far from me, so I'm actually seeing her Sunday. Um, Good luck on your interview, dude. That's huge. Uh, oh my god, I am feeling. I'm just feeling so chubby. Um, like I kind of want to cry. I do not like my body right now. Might have to put on a different shirt. Slay. Um, just cause I feel so bad. I just need to work out more. Okay, that's what I gotta do. um, I was wondering if you guys wanted to read with me for a little bit, just because like I kind of want to read right now. Y'all are so sweet, but I don't feel that way at all. Uh, why don't we start a new book? Because I'm halfway through that book. Okay. We can either start The Plum Trees or The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Unbearable. Okay. Alright. I'm glad you picked this one because I actually kind of want to read this one. Okay. Part 1. Lightness and Weight. Let me change the title of this stream really quickly. The Philosophy Fits one also got banned. Don't worry. So yeah, I'm down to just my 3 TikTok accounts, which is Hotblockchain 2, CryptoBatty 1, and the Hotblockchain. Okay. 1. The idea of eternal return is a mysterious one, and Nietzsche has often perplexed other philosophers with it. To think that everything reoccurs as we once experienced it, and that the reoccurrence itself reoccurs ad infinitum. What does this mad myth signify? Putting it negatively, the myth of eternal return states that a life which disappears once and for all, which does not return, is like a shadow, without weight, dead in advance. Whether it was horrible, beautiful, or sublime, its horror, sublimity, or beauty mean nothing. We need take no more note of it than a war between 2 African kingdoms in the 14th century, a war that altered nothing in the destiny of the world, even if 100,000 blacks perished in excruciating torment. Will the war between 2 African kingdoms in the 14th century itself be altered if it reoccurs again and again, an eternal return? It will. It will become a solid mass, permanently protrudent, its insanity irreparable. If the French Revolution were to recur eternally, French historians would be less proud of Robespierre. But because they deal with something that will not return, the bloody years of the Revolution have turned into mere words, theories, discussions, have become lighter than feathers, frightening no one. There is an infinite indifference between a Robespierre who occurs only once in history and a Robespierre who eternally returns, chopping off French heads. Let us therefore agree that the idea of eternal return implies a perspective from which things appear other than as we know them. They appear without the mitigating circumstance of their transitory nature. This mitigating circumstance prevents us from coming to a verdict. For how can we condemn something that is ephemeral, in transit? In the sunset of disillusion, everything is illuminated by the aura of nostalgia, even the guillotine. Not long ago, I caught myself experiencing a most incredulous sensation. Leafing through a book on Hitler, I was touched by some of his portraits. They reminded me of my childhood. I grew up during the war. Several members of my family perished in Hitler's concentration camps. But what were their deaths compared with the memories of a lost period in my life, a period that will never return? This reconciliation with Hitler reveals the profound moral perversity of a world that rests essentially on the non-existence of return, for in this world everything is pardoned in advance, and therefore everything cynically permitted. Chapter 2. If every second of our lives recurs an infinite number of times, we are nailed to eternity as Jesus was nailed to the cross. It is a terrifying prospect. In the world of eternal return, the weight of unbearable responsibility lies heavy on every move we make. That is why Nietzsche called the idea of eternal return the heaviest of burdens. And this is in German, so I'm going to try my best, but das schwerste Gewicht. That's my best impression. I'm sorry, you guys. If eternal return is the heaviest of burdens, then our lives can stand out against it in all their splendid lightness. But is heaviness truly deplorable and lightness splendid? The heaviest of burdens crushes us, we sink beneath it, it pins us to the ground. But in the love poetry of every age, the woman longs to be weighed down by a man's body. The heaviest of burdens is therefore simultaneously an image of life's most intense fulfillment. The heavier the burden, the closer our lives come to the earth, the more real and truthful they become. Conversely, the absolute absence of burden causes man to be lighter than air, to soar into the heights, take leave of the earth and his earthly being, and become only half real, his movements as free as they are insignificant. What then shall we choose? Weight or lightness? Parmenides posed this very question in the 6th century before Christ. He saw the world divided into pairs of opposites: light and darkness, fineness and coarseness, warmth and cold, being and non-being. One half of the opposition he called positive: light, fineness, warmth, being, and the other negative. We might find this division into positive and negative poles childishly simple, except for one difficulty. Which one is positive, weight or lightness? Parmenides responded, lightness is positive, weight negative. Was he correct or not? That is the question. The only certainty is, the lightness/weight opposition is the most mysterious, most ambiguous of all. Chapter 3. I have been thinking about Tomas for many years, but only in the light of these reflections did I see him clearly. I saw him standing at the window of his flat, looking across the courtyard at the opposite walls, not knowing what to do. He had first met Teresa about 3 weeks earlier in a small Czech town. They had spent scarcely an hour together. She had accompanied him to the station and waited with him until he boarded the train. 10 days later she paid him a visit. They made love the day she arrived. The night she came down with a fever and stayed a whole week in his flat with the flu. Garbage truck, sorry you guys. He had come to feel an inexplicable love for this all but complete stranger. She seemed a child to him, a child someone had put in a bulrush basket, dubbed with pitch and sent down the stream for Tomas to fetch at the riverbank of his bed. She stayed with him a week until she was well again, then went back to her town, some 125 miles from Prague. And then came the time I have just spoken of, and seized the key to his life. Standing by the window, he looked out over the courtyard at the walls opposite him, and deliberated. Should he call her back to Prague for good? He feared the responsibility. If he invited her to come, then she would, and offer him up her life. Or should he refrain from approaching her? Then she would remain a waitress in a hotel restaurant of a provincial town he would never see, and he would never see her again. Did he want her to come, Or did he not? He looked out over the courtyard of the opposite walls, seeking an answer. He kept recalling her lying on his bed. She reminded him of no one in his former life. She was neither mistress nor wife. She was a child whom he had taken from a bulrush basket that had been dubbed with pitch and sent to the river bank of his bed. She fell asleep. He knelt down next to her. Her fervorous breath quickened and she gave out a weak moan. He pressed his face to hers and whispered calming words into her sleep. After a while, he felt her breath return to normal and her face rise unconsciously to meet his. He smelled the delicate aroma of her fever and breathed it in, as if trying to glut himself with intimacy of her body, and all at once he fancied she had been with him for many years and was dying. He had a sudden clear feeling that she would not survive her death. He would lie down beside her and want to die with her. He pressed his face into the pillow behind her head and kept it there for a long time. Now he was standing at the window trying to call that moment to account. What could it have been if not love declaring itself to him? But was it love? Oh, hello you guys. Thank you for the follows. But was it love? The feeling of wanting to die beside her was clearly exaggerated. He had only seen her once before in his life. Thank you so much for the subscription, Dr. Dre. Thank you. We're reading a little love poetic novel right now. I'm good. How are you? Was it simply the hysteria of a man who, aware deep down of his inaptitude for love, felt the self-deluding need to simulate it? His unconscious was so cowardly that the best partner it could choose for its little comedy was this miserable provincial waitress with practically no chance at all to enter his life. Looking out over the courtyard at the dirty walls, he realized he had no idea whether it was hysteria or love. And he was distressed that in a situation where a real man would instantly have known how to act, he was vacillating, and therefore deprived the most beautiful moments he had ever experienced, kneeling at her bed and thinking he would not survive her death, of their meaning. He remained annoyed with himself until he realized that not knowing what he wanted was actually quite natural. We can never know what to want, because living only one life, we can neither compare it with our previous lives nor perfect it in our lives to come. Was it better to be with Teresa or remain alone? There is no means of testing which decision is better, because there is no basis for comparison. We live everything as it comes, without warning, like an actor going on cold. And what can life be worth if the first rehearsal for life is life itself? That is why life is always like a sketch. No, sketch is not quite the word, because sketch is an outline of something, the groundwork for a picture, whereas the sketch that is our life is a sketch for nothing, an outline with no picture. Animal ist kein Mal, says Thomas to himself. What happens but once, says the German adage, might as well not have happened at all. If we only have one life to live, we might as well have not lived it at all. I like what I'm reading so far. How do you guys feel about it? I'm finding it actually pretty enjoyable. And thank you for all the follows again. I really appreciate it. But then one day, this is chapter 4. But then one day at the hospital, during a break between operations, a nurse called him on the telephone. He heard Teresa's voice coming from the receiver. She had phoned him from the railway station. He was overjoyed. Unfortunately, he had slept late that evening and could not invite her to his place until the next day. The moment he hung up, he reproached himself for not telling her to go straight there. He had time enough to cancel his plans, after all. He tried to imagine what Teresa would do in Prague during the 36 long hours before they were to meet, and had half a mind to jump into his car and drive through the streets looking for her. She arrived the next evening, a handbag dangling from her shoulder, looking more elegant than before. She had a thick book under her arm. It was Anna Karina. She seemed in a good mood, even a little boisterous, tried to make him think that she had just happened to drop by. Things had just worked out that way. She was in Prague on business, perhaps. At this point, she became rather vague. To find a job. Later, as they lay naked and spent side by side on the bed, he asked her where she was staying. It was night by then, and he offered to drive her there. Embarrassed, she answered that she still had to find a hotel and had left her suitcase at the station. Only 2 days ago, he had feared that if he invited her to Prague, she would offer him up her life. When she told her suitcase was at the station, he immediately realized then that the suitcase contained her life, and she had left it at the station only until she could offer it to him. The two of them got in his car, which was parked in the front of the house, and drove to the station. There he claimed the suitcase. It was large and enormously heavy, and took it and her home. How had he come to make such a sudden decision, when for nearly a fortnight he had wavered so much that he could not even bring himself to send a postcard asking her how she was? He himself was surprised. He acted against his principles. 10 years earlier, when he had divorced his wife, he celebrated the event the way others celebrate a marriage. He understood he was not born to live side by side with any woman, and could be fully himself only as a bachelor. He tried to design his life in such a way that no woman could move in with a suitcase. That was why his flat only had the one bed. Even though it was wide enough, Tomas would tell his mistress that he was unable to fall asleep with anyone next to him, and drive them home after midnight. And so it was not the flu that kept him from sleeping with Teresa on her first visit. The first night he slept in his large armchair. The rest of that week he drove each night to the hospital, where he had a cot in his office. But this time he fell asleep by her side. When he woke up this morning, he found Teresa, who was still asleep, holding his hand. Could they have been hand in hand all night? It was hard to believe. And while she breathed a deep breath of sleep and held his hand firmly, he was unable to disengage it from her grip. This is called the unbearable lightness of being. The enormously heavy suitcase stood by the bed. He refrained from loosening his hand from her grip for fear of waking her, and turned carefully on his side to observe her better. Again it occurred to him that Teresa was a child put in a pitch-daubed bottle-bush basket and sent downstream. He could have very well let that basket with a child in it float down a stormy river. If the Pharaoh's daughter hadn't snatched the basket carrying little Moses from the waves, there would have been no Old Testament, no civilization as we know it. How many ancient myths begin with the rescue of an abandoned child? If Polybus hadn't taken in the young Oedipus, Sophocles wouldn't have written his most beautiful tragedy. Tomas did not realize at the time that metaphors are dangerous. Metaphors are not to be trifled with. A single metaphor can give birth to love. Chapter 5. He lived a scant 2 years with his wife, and they had a son. At divorce proceedings, the judge awarded the infant to its mother and ordered Tomas to pay a third of his salary for its support. He also granted him the right to visit the boy every other week. But each time Tomas was supposed to see him, the boy's mother found an excuse to keep him away. He soon realized that bringing them expensive gifts would make things a good deal easier, as that he was expected to bribe the mother for the son's love. He saw a future of quixotic attempts to inoculate his views in the boy, views opposed in every way to the mother's. The very thought of it exhausted him. When one Sunday the boy's mother again canceled his scheduled visit, Tomas decided at the spur of the moment never to see him again. Why should he feel more for that child, to whom he was bound by nothing but a single improvident night, than for any other? He would be scrupulous about paying support. He just didn't want anybody making him fight for his son in the name of paternal sentiments. Needless to say, he found no sympathizers. His own parents condemned him roundly. If Tomas refused to take an interest in his son, then they, Tomas's parents, would no longer take an interest in theirs. Wait, sorry, I have so many texts. Oh yeah, I love listening to the garbage truck. Oh, it makes everything so yummy. Also, you guys, my new TikTok is actually doing so well. We just hit 2K on my new TikTok, so yay. Thank you guys. I'm so happy. Oh yeah, if you want to send me food, feel free. But also don't if you don't have the money. So yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm having a good week actually. Let's finish out a couple more chapters because they're only a page long, and then we will do something else. I promise. Because I'll get bored of it by then too. Well, no, I won't. But I'll allow myself to be bored. They made a great show of maintaining good relations with their daughter-in-law and trumpeted their exemplary stance and sense of justice. Thus, in practically no time, he managed to rid himself of wife, son, mother, and father. The only thing... Yas, garbage truck. Slay, garbage truck. The only thing they bequeathed to him was a fear of women. Tomas desired but feared them. Needing to create a compromise between fear and desire, he devised what he called an erotic friendship. He would tell his mistresses the only relationship that that can make both partners happy is one in which sentimentality has no place and neither partner makes a claim on the life or freedom of the other. To ensure that erotic friendship never grew into the aggression of love, he would meet each of his long-term mistresses only at intervals. He considered this method flawless and propagated it among his friends. The important thing is to abide by the rule of threes. Either you see a woman 3 times in quick succession, then never again, or you maintain relations over the year but make sure the rendezvous are at least 3 weeks apart. The rule of threes enabled Tomas to keep intact his liaisons with some women while continuing to engage in short-term affairs with many others. He was not always understood. The woman who understood him best was Sabina. She was a painter. "The reason I like you," she would say to him, "is you are the complete opposite of kitsch. In the kingdom of kitsch, you would be a monster." It was Sabina he turned to when he needed to find a job for Teresa in Prague. Following the unwritten rules of erotic friendship, Sabina promised to do everything in her power, and before long she had in fact located a place for Teresa in the dark room of an illustrated weekly. Although her new job did not require any particular qualifications, it raised her status from waitress to a member of the press. When Sabina herself introduced Teresa to everyone on the weekly, Tomas knew he had never had a better friend as a mistress than Sabrina. The rule of threes is very incel red pill. I think we're supposed to think that Tomas is incel red pill. Chapter 6. The unwritten contract of erotic friendship stipulated that Tomas should exclude all love from his life. The moment he violated that clause of the contract, his other mistresses would assume inferior status and become ripe for insurrection. This writing of women is so vulgar, but whatever. Accordingly, he rented a room for Teresa and her heavy suitcase. He wanted to be able to watch over her, protect her, enjoy her presence, but felt no need to change his way of life. He did not want word to get out that Teresa was sleeping at his place. Spending the night together was the corpus delicti of love. He never spent the night with others. It was easy enough if he was at their place. He could leave whenever he pleased. It was worse when they were at his and he had to explain that come midnight he would have to drive them home because he was an insomniac and found it impossible to fall asleep in close proximity to another person. Though it was not far from the truth, he never dared tell them the whole truth. After making love, he had an uncontrollable craving to be by himself. Waking in the middle of the night at the sight of an alien body was distasteful to him. Rising in the morning with an intruder repellent, he had no desire to be overheard brushing his teeth in the bathroom, nor was he enticed by the thought of an intimate breakfast. That is why he was so surprised to wake up and find Teresa squeezing his hand tightly. Lying there looking at her, he could not quite understand what had happened. But as he ran through the previous few hours in his mind, he began to sense an aura of hitherto unknown happiness emanating from them. From that time on, they both looked forward to sleeping together. I might even say that the goal of their lovemaking was not so much pleasure as the sleep that followed. She especially was affected. Whenever she stayed overnight in her rented room, which quickly became only an alibi for Tomas, she was unable to fall asleep, In his arms she would fall asleep no matter how wrought up she may have been. He would whisper impromptu fairy tales about her, or gibberish, words he repeated monotonously, words soothing or comical, which turned into vague visions lulling her through the first dreams of the night. He had complete control over her sleep. She dozed off at the second he chose. While they slept, she held him as on the first night, keeping a firm grip on the wrist, finger, or ankle. If he wanted to move without waking her, he had to resort to artifice, without freeing her finger, wrist, ankle from her clutches, a process which, since she guarded him carefully even in her sleep, never failed to rouse her partially. He would calm her by slipping an object into her hand, a rolled-up pajama top, a slipper, a book, which she then gripped as tightly as if it were a part of his body. Once, when he had just lulled her to sleep, but she had gone no farther than a dream's antechamber, and was therefore still responsive to him, he said to her, "Goodbye, I'm going now." "Where?" she asked in her sleep. "Away," he answered sternly. "Then I'm going with you," she said, sitting up in bed. "No, you can't. I'm going away for good," he said, going out into the hall. She stood up and followed him out, squinting. She was naked beneath her short nightdress. Her face was blank, expressionless, but she moved energetically. He walked through the hall of the flat into the hall of the building, the hall shared by all the occupants, closing the door in her face. She flung it open and continued to follow him, convinced in her sleep that he meant to leave her for good and she had to stop him. He walked down the stairs to the first landing and waited for her there. She went down after him, took him by the hand, and led him back to bed. Tomas came to this conclusion. Making love with a woman and sleeping with a woman are two separate passions, not merely different but opposite. Love does not make itself felt in the desire for copulation, a desire that extends to an infinite number of women, but in the desire for shared sleep, a desire limited to one woman. Huh. You know, we're taking a break from this book right now. Because I think we should discuss it. And, discuss what, one of my favorite things, and one of the best teachers that I had, I cannot remember her name, because I had her for a very short amount of time, but she was my English teacher, and she made it really clear that the writing and the description of the character and the characters alludes to what messaging the author really believes in, right? And, that's just common knowledge, but she was the first one to teach me how to do it. So I guess my question to you guys is, what message do you think the author is trying to share right now? In my opinion, he pretty clearly, authors... No, this is a man. I find, right now our main character is Tomas, and I'm not sure if we're supposed to like him, because, I think that his views on women are pretty yikes. His concept of... I would get it if maybe there's trauma associated with it, but, leaving your son, that's pretty shit. That's pretty shit of you. I don't know how I feel about that one. Well, do you really dislike everything about him? I don't dislike everything about him. I'm trying to determine, my question is more is this just what men were like? Like, are we just supposed to assume that, like, are we just supposed to not find this gross? Or, like, are we supposed to be looking at Tomas like, ew, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Do I actually look cute in this outfit? I don't know if I like it, you guys. I think I kind of want to change my outfit, and I think I kind of want to wear a dress because I don't want this part of me out and about. Chain Block Hot. That's a cute name. Did you actually make that because of my username? That's actually super sweet. Yeah, I think I'm going to go change into a dress, though. I'll be right back. I just don't... You guys know me. I get really insecure really quickly. And I'm not liking this outfit. Sorry, I really wanted to wear my little Playboy sweater right now. I'm gonna change into these shorts. I feel so much better, so much less gross. This sweater is so cute, like... Yeah. But yeah, I wanna scroll up. Oh. I actually love that belt. Fun fact, that's like an American Girl doll like belt. But I was just like feeling so... I just sometimes get the sense that my body is too big and it stresses me out and I don't want to look like that anymore, you know? Ugh. This gets me feeling gross. But I do love this sweater so much. I love my paper sweater. Okay. Thank you, Wanderer. Okay, do we want to keep reading more? We do not have to say yes. But regardless, I probably will force you guys to maybe, like, I just want to learn. If we're not reading more, we're gonna do something where we learn. Because I'm feeling kind of, like, my mind is not stimulated, you know? Thank you for the Prime subscription. That's so sweet of you, Lostrawby. Lostrawby? I hope I said that right. This is the outfit, you guys. Not much to it. Like, I got my little shorts on. I got a Playboy sweater. We will be picking another outfit later on stream because I'm going to the beach today. But I am, simply put, uninterested in wearing something tight right now. Short skirt with long jacket. Yeah, I might do that. Right now I'm wearing my comfy PJ shorts though. Because they're yas. Slay. Also, I've been like, something that's been really weirding me out and making me think that I might be allergic to something is that I'm ending up every day like feeling like super bloated, and that wouldn't be weird except for the fact that I'm like not eating enough to make me like, to bring me to that point of being bloated. Like, okay, so what did I eat yesterday? Yesterday I had Jamba Juice, okay, and then I had a piece of toast, and that was breakfast. And then I had, like, we went to Duke's for lunch, and I could not finish this plate. I, like, had, like, the equivalent of, like, 2 ribs and, like, a shish kebab, like, this big and this wide, but, like, half of that, of chicken and, like, some rice. And I was, like, stuffed to the fucking brim. And then I came home and I still felt super bloated, but I was like, you did not eat enough. So I made myself a grilled cheese, like, this big. But, like, even now, like, I just don't feel hungry and I still feel really bloated. So I wonder, like, what I'm allergic to. Anyways. No, don't let it be gluten. I swear to God, I'll try to cut gluten out of my diet, and if it's gluten, I'm just gonna kill myself. It's just gonna make me cry. The sweater is cozy, thank you. Maybe because you eat No, I don't think it's like that severe. My favorite 90s to 80s music, do you have all day? Like, I also really like 70s music a lot. Do women like sex as much as men do? No. What? No, of course not. Like, I don't think that's a question that is confusing. Like, the odds that you're having really good sex with a man are probably low. Work out what you've eaten and do the method of elimination. Yeah. Okay, so I guess today we're gonna start a no gluten trend. See how that goes. But the other day, I also, like, barely ate gluten. Like, what did I have for breakfast? Why don't I remember that at all? Okay, weird. Oh my god, my stomach is so pudgy. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I just think I might just need to work out more. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. Oh, I feel like I'm feeling so unattractive right now. I'm sorry to be doing this on stream right now. feel happy. Ugh, so. But from the smoothies, like, why would it be smoothies? Like, I think if I'm actually allergic to gluten, that's so sad because I love gluten. Fuck, that means no more pasta. But why would it be new? Like, I feel like that doesn't make sense. You know what, maybe it does, but I'm just saying that it doesn't make sense because I don't want it to make sense. Oh my god, what if I have to go gluten-free? Might as well kill myself then. No, JK, I won't. I realized that looked pretty serious, giving, like, my stance, and, like, no. There's so many pastas without gluten. I know, but they're not as good. I'm actually gonna cry. Like, am I experiencing body dysmorphia right now? No, it just actually looks that bad. Like, Christ. I need to work out, okay. I feel like you guys are just lying to me. I am not preggers. What? See, now I'm like, okay, so I look pregnant? No, I'm not fishing for compliments. Don't you think that if I wanted, I understand how string works. I don't need to say that. I know you guys would objectify me no matter what. I genuinely cannot understand if I'm, like, experiencing, like, really bad body dysmorphia and I just don't know what I look like. Or if, like, how could I just not know what I look like, though? Like... It's been so long since I, like, remember this anger. Like, I used to feel this way in dance. And when I say anger, it's, like, anger, like, I can't trust my own perceptions, right? Because when I would feel this way in dance, I would be, like, so frustrated that I could never understand what my body looked like. And, like, that I was always clearly seeing things that other people weren't. And, like, that's just, like, how am I supposed to get rid of that? Because I know, like, all of my friends have body dysmorphia, and some of theirs is really bad, too. But, like, none of us know how to get rid of it. Like... I'm in therapy, don't worry. And I'm a big advocate of therapy. I just think that some things, like... The truth is that there's some problems that you need to, like, be able to confront on your own, and it doesn't matter how many times. See, like, I'm already feeling better. Like, hold on. Okay, one thing about me that I feel the need to clarify is that I have cyclothymia, meaning that I am, like, very prone to mood swings. Oh, drink tea actually sounds so nice. Like, I'm very prone to these mood swings that can get really badly, like, egged on by, if I'm just nervous in general. Like, okay, so I was just nervous about my diet in general, right? I was just like, oh, well, I might have to do, like, an elimination style. And what with cyclothymia, something, like, little like that can be, like, the trigger for, like, a big anxiety spiral. The thing is that cyclothymia is, like, less severe bipolar. So then a rational thought is able to come back in and be like, hold on, Emily, I think that maybe you're making a bigger deal out of this than, like, is worth it. Like, your body is doing its job. Your body is good at feeding you. Your body is good at keeping you up on 2 feet. Your brain is, like, you're so lucky to have this body that functions normally. And, like, that rational thought can come back in and really, like, calm me down. The issue is that it's that initial tick-off that starts this spiral. And, like, it's obviously easier to stop the spiral if I recognize that I'm spiraling. Like, if the first time that I realized I was getting anxious was when I was talking about pasta, because I was like, oh, fuck, like, what am I going to eat at school? Like, how am I going to... Because I'm thinking about, like, the meal plan, like, almost nothing doesn't have gluten in it. So I was like, oh my god, it's going to be so much money. If I were to stop the spiral there and be like, hey, first of all, you don't even know if you're allergic to gluten. Like, we're just trying to see, like, why you're feeling bloated. That's fine. Then, like, I wouldn't have even gotten to the, oh my god, I hate the way I look. It's just that, like, that one initial tick-off starts all of, like, my things in an escalation, you know? Yeah. I do love the, like, 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things, oh no, it's like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can touch, or taste, or whatever, 1 thing you can taste. I remember it, but it's that thing. I think that works for other people. I think mine is more, my thing is definitely more like, I need to hit it with logic, you know? I need to, like, turn around and be like, yo, why are you freaking out right now? That makes no sense. And I'll tell you why that makes no sense. And, like, that's always worked better for me, just because it's, like, it's more how I calm down other people. Is, like, when my friends are freaking out about something, because, like, Emma's got pretty bad anxiety, and she can spiral. I'll be like, okay, Emma, like, this doesn't, like, obviously I'll comfort her, but then, like, when it's, like, you know, when you're past the hyperventilating stage and you just are still nervous, you're like, why don't we break this down? Why don't we break this down to the grand scheme of things? None of that's gonna happen, you know, like, and make it a lot less scary, because you know that it's kind of, like, ridiculous. And that, like, what I was feeling was kind of ridiculous. Yep, step back from your emotion and examine it scientifically. I think that helps me so much. I'm not saying that is something for other people, but for me, I know that is, like, the only thing that I've been able to consistently make work. Oh, this little gratitude journal that my sister has over here is so cute. If you're saying my hair is greasy, don't worry. It's not greasy. It's just wet. I took a shower oh my god, how did I shower an hour ago and it's still wet? My hair is so thick, it's unreal. Good shower. I mean, yeah, I was listening to this really interesting podcast on the prison boom that happened between 1980 and I think 1999.
Very loud.
Do you also have Playboy pants?
Yeah.
I have Playboy. Do you have my little white Playboy shorts?
No, I don't.
Okay. So
You're
this
yelling.
jacket is so cute.
Yeah, but you're yelling.
Okay, hello. Give me a couple.
Yes.
Why do you have Princeton stuff?
Because I'm going to Princeton.
Are you applying?
No, I'm going. I got in.
For sure, dog.
So, you need to get me a Dyson Airwrap.
Okay. Okay. When you get into Carnegie, I'll get you a Dyson Airwrap.
Emily! I'm not going to Carnegie.
Slay. The podcast is You're Wrong About, which I have kind of been disliking the newer episodes because my favorite host left. It used to be co-hosted. Sarah, I don't know her name, and Michael Hobbs. But Michael Hobbs left to do his other podcast, so it was aw, she did not get into Princeton. Don't worry. I am hungry. Yes. I love when I suddenly feel hungry. That's so nice. Slay. And I feel like that sounds sarcastic, but it is nice. Yeah, that was my little sister. You gonna need a pilot's license laughing like that. For real, dog. I love this shirt. Also, should we put together an outfit for the beach? It's gonna be sandy and cold and cloudy. So the thing is that I'm not leaving for the beach in until an hour and a half. So I don't know if I even want to do that right now. Because I just realized that then I would have to sit in my outfit for the cold sandy beach for an hour and a half. And I don't know if I want to do that. Oh my god, yeah. Do you guys want to read more? Because I would love to read more. I'm having so much fun reading. You do not have to say yes, though. I'm not trying to peer pressure you into anything. Okay, yay! Okay, we're reading The Unbearable Lightness of Being, which my friend Fanny recommended to me as this combination love story and philosophical talk about love. I don't know, I kind of like it so far. And we're on chapter 7, which sounds like a big deal, but we're only 16 pages into the book, so it's not really a big deal. He pressed her into him, and she gradually, trembling violently for a long time, fell asleep in his arms. Thinking about the dream the next day, he remembered something. He opened a desk drawer and took out a packet of letters Sabrina had written him. He was not long in finding the following passage. I want to make love to you in my studio. It will be like a stage surrounded by people. The audience won't be allowed up close, but they won't be able to take their eyes off of us. The worst of it was that the letter was dated. It was quite recent, written long after Teresa had moved in with Thomas. So you've been rummaging through in my letters? She did not deny it. Throw me out then. But he did not throw her out. He could picture her pressed against the wall of Sabrina's studio, jabbing needles up her nails. He took her fingers between his hands and stroked them, brought them to his lips and kissed them, as if they still had drops of blood on them. But from that time on, everything seemed to conspire against him. Not a day went by without her learning something about his secret life. At first he denied it all. Then, when the evidence became too blatant, he argued that his polyamorous way of life did not in the least run counter to his love for her. He was inconsistent. First he disavowed his infidelities, then he tried to justify them. Once he was saying goodbye after making a date with a woman on the phone, when from the next room came a strange sound like the chattering of teeth. By the chance she had come home without him realizing it. She was pouring something from a medicine bottle down her throat, and her hand shook so badly the glass clicked against her teeth. He pounced on her as if trying to save her from drowning. The bottle fell to the floor, spotted the carpet with valerian drops. She put up a good fight, but he had to keep her in a straitjacket-like hold for a quarter of an hour before he could calm her. He knew he was in an unjustifiable situation, based as it was on complete inequality. One evening, before she discovered his correspondence with Sabina, they had gone to a bar with some friends to celebrate Teresa's new job. She had been promoted at the weekly from the darkroom technician to staff photographer. Because she had never been in touch been much for dancing, one of his younger colleagues took over. They made a splendid couple on the dance floor, and Tomas found her more beautiful than ever. He looked on in amazement at the split-second precision and deference with which Teresa anticipated her partner's will. The dance seemed to him a declaration that her devotion, her ardent desire to satisfy his every whim, was not necessarily bound to his person, that if she hadn't met Thomas, she would have been ready to respond to the call of any other man she might have met instead. He had no difficulty imagining Teresa and his young colleague as lovers, and the ease with which he arrived at this fiction wounded him. He realized that Teresa's body was perfectly thinkable coupled with any male body, and the thought put him in a foul mood. Not until late that night, at home, did he admit to her he was jealous. This absurd jealousy, grounded as it was in mere hypothesis, proved that he considered her fidelity an unconditional postulate of their relationship. How then could he begrudge her jealousy of his very real mistresses? Chapter 8. During the day, she tried, though with only partial success, to believe what Tomas told her, and to be as cheerful as she had been before. But her jealousy, thus tamed by day, burst forth all more savagely in her dreams, each of which extended— I want to lie down under the covers, sorry. Slay. Each of which ended in a wail he could silence only by waking her. Her dreams reoccurred like themes and variations or television series. For example, she repeatedly dreamed of cats jumping at her face and digging their claws into her skin. We need not look far for an interpretation. In Czech slang, the word cat means a pretty woman. Teresa saw herself threatened by women, all women. All women were potential mistresses for Tomas, and she feared them all. In another cycle, she was being sent to her death. Once, when he woke her as she screamed in terror in the dead of the night, she told him about it. I was at a large indoor swimming pool. There were about 20 of us, all women. We were naked and had to march around the pool. There was a basket hanging from the ceiling and a man standing in the basket. The man wore a broad-brimmed hat shading his face, but I could see it was you. You kept giving us orders, shouting at us. We had to sing as we marched, sing and do knee bends. If one of us did a bad knee bend, you would shoot her with a pistol, and she would fall dead in the pool, which made everybody laugh and sing even louder. You never took your eyes off us, and the minute we did something wrong, you would shoot. The pool was full of corpses floating just below the surface, and I knew I lacked the strength to do the next knee bend, and you were going to shoot me. In the third cycle, she was dead. Lying in a hearse as big as a furniture van, she was surrounded by dead women. There were so many of her that the back door would not close and several legs dangled out. "But I'm not dead," Teresa cried. "I can still feel." "So can we," the corpses laughed. They laughed the same laugh as the live women who used to tell her cheerfully it was perfectly normal that one day she would have bad teeth, faulty ovaries, and wrinkles, because they all had bad teeth, faulty ovaries, and wrinkles. Laughing the same laugh, they told her that she was dead and it was perfectly all right. Suddenly she felt a need to urinate. "You see," she cried, "I need to pee. That's proof positive I'm not dead." But they only laughed again. "Needing to pee is perfectly normal," they said. "You'll go on feeling that kind of thing for a long time yet. Like a person who has an arm cut off and keeps feeling it's there. We may not have a drop of pee left in us, but we keep needing to pee." Teresa huddled against Thomas in bed. And the way they talked to me, like old friends, people who'd known me forever. I was so appalled at the thought of having to stay with them forever. All languages that derive from Latin form the word compassion by combining a prefix with com and the root meaning suffering, like late Latin, passio. This is chapter 9, by the way. In other languages, Czech, Polish, German, Swedish, for instance, this word is translated by a noun formed by an equivalent prefix combined with the word that means feeling. Czech, saushit. Polish, I can't pronounce that. German, mitgelful. Swedish, medkansala. In languages that derive from Latin, compassion means we cannot look on coolly as others suffer, or we sympathize with those who suffer. Another word with approximately the same meaning, pity, French, pité, Italian, pietà, pietà, etc., connotes a certain condescension towards the sufferer. To take pity on a woman means that we are better off than she, that we stoop to her level, lower ourselves. That is why the word compassion generally inspires suspicion. It designates what is considered an inferior, second-rate sentiment that has little to do with love. To love someone out of compassion means not really to love. In languages that form the word compassion not from the word suffering, but from the root feeling, the word is used in approximately the same way, but to contend that it designates a bad or inferior sentiment is difficult. The secret strength of its etymology floods the word with another light and gives a broader meaning. To have compassion, co-feeling, means not to be able to live with with the other's misfortune, but also to feel with him any emotion, joy, anxiety, happiness, pain. This kind of compassion, in the sense of sasut, all the different words, therefore signifies the maximal capacity of effective imagination, the art of emotional telepathy. In the hierarchy of sentiments, then, it is supreme. By revealing to Tomas her dream about jabbing needles under her fingernails, Teresa unwillingly revealed that she had gone through his desk. If Teresa had been any other woman, Tomas would have never spoken to her again. Aware of that, Teresa said to him, "Throw me out." But instead of throwing her out, he seized her hand and kissed the tips of her fingers, because in that moment he himself felt the pain under her fingernails, as surely as if the nerves of her fingers led straight to his own brain. Anyone who has failed to benefit from the devil's gift of compassion will condemn Teresa coldly for her deed, because privacy is sacred and drawers containing intimate correspondence are not to be opened. But because compassion was Tomas's fate, or curse, he felt that he himself had knelt before the open desk drawer, unable to tear his eyes from Sabina's letter. He understood Teresa, and not only was he incapable of being angry with her, he loved her all the more. That is so sweet. Wow. Chapter 10. Her gestures grew abrupt and unsteady. 2 years had elapsed since she discovered he was unfaithful, and things had grown worse. There was no way out. Was he genuinely incapable of abandoning his erotic friendships? He was. It would have torn him apart. He lacked the strength to control his taste for other women. Besides, he failed to see the need. No one knew better than how little his exploits threatened Teresa. Why then give them up? He saw no more reason than to deny himself soccer matches. But what if it was still a matter of pleasure? Even as he set out to visit the other woman, he found her distasteful and promised herself that he would not see her again. He constantly had Teresa's image before his eyes, and the only way he could erase it was by quickly getting drunk. Ever since meeting Teresa, he had been unable to make love to other women without alcohol. But alcohol on his breath was a sure sign to Teresa of infidelity. He was caught in a trap. Even on his way to see them, he found him distasteful, but one day, without them, he was back on the phone, eager to make content. Yikes! This dude is horny! I was comfortable, yeah. Okay. He still felt most comfortable with Sabina. He knew she was discreet and would not divulge their rendezvous. Her studio greeted him like a memento of his past, his idyllic bachelor past. Perhaps he himself did not realize how much he had changed. He was now afraid to come home late, because Teresa would be waiting up for him. Then one day Sabina caught him glancing at his watch during intercourse and tried to hasten its conclusion. Afterwards, she still naked and lazily walking across the studio. She stopped before an easel with a half-finished painting and watched him sidelong as he threw on his clothes. When he was fully dressed except for one bare foot, he looked around the room, then got down on all fours to continue the search under the table. "You seem to be turning into a theme of all my paintings," she said. "The meeting of two worlds, a double exposure, showing through the outline of Tomas the libertine, incredibly the face of a romantic lover. Or the other way, through a Tristan always thinking of his Teresa, I see the beautiful, betrayed world of the libertine." Tomas straightened up and distractedly listened to Sabina's words. "What are you looking for?" she asked. "A sock." She searched all over the room with him, and again he got down on all fours to look under the table. "Your sock isn't anywhere to be seen," said Sabina. "You must have come without it." "How could I have come without it?" cried Tomas, looking at his watch. "I wasn't wearing only one sock when I came, was I?" "That's not out of the question. You've been very absent-minded lately, always rushing somewhere, looking at your watch. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if you forgot to put on a sock." He was just about to put his shoe on his bare foot. "It's cold out," Sabina said. "I'll lend you one of my stockings." She handed him a long, white, fashionable, wide-net stocking. He knew very well she was getting back at him for glancing at his watch while making love to her. She had hidden his sock somewhere. It was indeed cold out, and he had no choice but to take her up on the offer. He went home wearing a sock on one foot and a wide-net stocking rolled down over his ankle on the other. He was in a bind. In his mistress's eyes, he bore the stigma of his love for Teresa. In Teresa's eyes, the stigma of his exploits with the mistress. Ooh. Let's get into a outfit. But gosh, that is spicy. Ba-ba-ba. That's pretty good. I like it. I like that. I'm gonna find pants and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I think that these are the pants that I'm gonna wear just because they're like comfy and they're corduroys and I like them. But I kind of want to go for like a witchy-esque layered look. So I'm gonna go try to find like pieces to layer with, you know? Okay, so fun fact, I actually completely changed my mind. But like this is the fit so far, and then I'm gonna find a sweater and then like a jacket. Cause I kind of like this. I think this is like just like cute and like a nice little base, right? Like I feel, yeah, I like the colors too. I think it like works. Okay, so like I was thinking maybe this would be layer number 2, or I don't know. This is an option for layer number 2. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting too hot, I wanna take my clothes off. But this is an option. I don't know if I like it yet because I feel like I might try to want to go for like a slicker look than what that's affording me. We shall see. Okay. So, what do we think about just like, it's a lot of dark colors. Okay. I feel like, yeah. I feel like that's good. Because it's gonna be cold. And one thing about me is I do not enjoy being cold. Ever. See, like, why is this still so dark? You know what? Why don't we just try using the ring light? Because this room has, like, the weirdest fucking lighting ever. Okay. Like, does that even change anything? Oh. Not particularly. Jesus Christ. What if I like... Oh, well then you can see me much better. I mean, I don't look great, but... You know, for clarity purposes. Alright. Let's do this makeup. This is actually such better quality for the camera, right? Yeah, we'll stick to this. Thank you, Wander. I was hoping to get Rory 70s. My hair is giving me 70s energy today. Ooh. That's just moisturizer, by the way, that I just put on, in case anybody was curious. The ring light always makes me feel a little bit too hot, though, so do a little bit of that. Just a little bit of Oh, good gracious ass, bodacious. I think that I should just do, like, a full face, because, you know what, it would make me, I want to. Yeah, I haven't done a full face since I got my eyebrows done, so I'm very curious right now to see how this goes. Wait, I wish I had a hair tie. And also, I cannot, that is not a very good angle for, okay. Why is my face still, like, not exactly in this shit? Ugh. There we go, that's better. Okay, I am going to look at my phone to do this, because for some reason the mirroring of the up-close camera is, like, tripping me out more than usual, which is pretty hard to do, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Good gracious ass bodacious. I really wish I was listening to music right now. But I don't want to get, like, well, I guess I didn't even check to see if the other stream got copyrighted. Okay, after I do this, I'll play my music then. I'm so risky. I'm so bad. Oh, Lord. Oh, Emily, you break all the rules. Don't I know it? God. Sometimes when I'm, like, not looking at chat and I just keep going on, like, a bit that I was doing, I realize, like, oh, wow, yeah, you're, like, not funny, girl. Like, Slay. Is she rich as in me? No. She's trying to be. That's the goal. But to answer your question, as of currently rich, no. Yeah, so true. Anyone ever heard of top-notch idiots on YouTube? What does that mean? Oh, like their user is top-notch? I thought you were like, all those top-notch idiots on YouTube. I was like, girl. Well, it's gonna annoy me forever. I don't understand what happened because my skin was doing like so well, like like remarkably well, best it's ever been. And then just out of nowhere, pimple, and like my whole forehead is breaking out. It's ridiculous. Already I'm feeling better though. I really like makeup, and so it'll be stress for sure. You know, I would say it was the makeup, except I really don't do nearly as much heavy makeup as I used to, and I take so much better care of my skin, so I don't understand what the dealio is. It's so lame. Like, gross. There's so much powder on this thing that, like, I don't even want to tap it to my face because it's so saturated. Oh, whatever. Okay. Slay. Where did I put the top? Oh, right there. You mean peer review? Like, do I have a paper I need to do a peer review? I'm actually so, I feel like people don't realize how, not people, I just think that it's just not clear how annoying it is to lose your TikTok account. Like, this is my main source of income. Not TikTok, but like driving people from TikTok to other social media platforms is like my main source of income. It's just so annoying every time I have to start over. Ugh, whatever, major loser. But also, like, it is whatever. Like, it's not that big a deal, and, like, I'll figure it out. But anyways, reminder to go follow the Hotblockchain on TikTok. And hello to all the first-time chatters. Did I eat yet? No. But will you do a 9-to-5 job? Like, in the future? I used to work, like, 8-hour, 9-hour usually shifts at McDonald's. Like, I usually had a shift, like, I usually worked 5 days out of a week, and, that totally sucked, and then I did the same thing at Albertsons, if that's what you're referring to, but the goal is to be able to graduate college debt-free, and then get to work a 9-to-5 job that I really love. I would love to be researching all day long. Like, I would have no issue with that. Slay mac and cheese. And that was my other sister, Claire. If you listen, she roasts people without even realizing it. What do you mean? Are you talking about me? I don't think I do that. Why she shut your door? Because I'm being loud. I yell all the time. What do you want to know about blockchain? This, you guys are always say, like, whenever I start doing my makeup, less makeup is better. I literally use, like, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Wait. I use 6 products in my routine. And using those 6 products does not change my face in any way, shape, or form. It just makes me feel so much more confident and happy. And then there are the people who, like, do makeup not just for themselves, but because they can, like, really do art. And those people are so cool, too. Like, I think that makeup has a lot of downsides in the sense that it can make you, in the sense that, like, it can make some girls really insecure about themselves. But for me, it's made me feel, like, learn to be a lot better with myself. And that might not be the overall experience, but I would never look down on something that brought another person, like, just a little just like that little ounce of joy that everybody needs to feel good about themselves. Everybody has moved out of LA because of the homeless situation. Hold on. Sorry, I just gotta get this mascara glob that I, like a fucking moron, left on my face. When are you moving out? I don't like LA. I don't want to live here ever. I hate it here. I think that it is, like, ridiculous that you have to drive everywhere you want to go. The homeless situation is not necessarily, like, what I think is the grossest. Like, the reason that I want to leave because of the homeless situation is because of the way that homeless people are treated here. It is so fucking depressing. Like, I literally can't stand to watch it. Like, I don't want to be complicit in that system. Like, and it all really boils back to the fact that I hate California state government. I hate them. They never do anything that's not, like, disgustingly expensive. Like, so many billions of dollars we have given to house the homeless. And we have completed, I think, 5 complexes, like 5 of these mega complexes that we're supposed to, like, eradicate the issue. It's just so, like, comical, it's not even funny, you know? Like, it's a joke that this is how bad our policies are, that we're this ineffective. Like, but I don't want to be laughing about it, well, I have to live it. I'd rather read the news about what next crazy thing just got passed in California from, like, Jersey or Texas. I like Texas. Everybody shits on it, but I actually like it a lot. I think it's super pretty. I went there for a debate competition, and it was, like, genuinely one of the most enjoyable cities I was in. It was so beautiful. There were so many things to do, and it was so much less expensive than LA. Maybe that's changed, but hopefully not. The better you treat the homeless, the more homeless will come to your state. Oh, please. That's such a myth. And like when you say that's a lie, the biggest example that people hold up is like, well, what about California? Right. We have a chaparral climate. It's easier to be homeless if you can sleep on the beach. That has nothing to do with how nice you are to the homeless. Like, this is the same logic we use when we bolster up sex offender registry legislation, despite the fact that we know that doesn't, like, we don't actually ever see any sex offender state migration. Like, it's not allowed by the laws of their probation. It's just, that all rhymed. That was insane. But I just find that so, like, that demonstrates a misunderstanding of how policy affects the people who, first of all, don't have access to learning about these new things. Do you think homeless people are, like, reading the newspaper, skimming for homeless policy news, being like, oh, that's about me? Like, no, they're not doing that, you know? Like, it's just so silly. A lot of that legislation is, like, projection-based more than anything. And also, a big reason that California is such a bad homeless problem is because we used to put people in jail for committing crimes that are really highly correlated with homelessness. And then we, like, stopped doing that recently, like, in the past 3 years. So there's a lot more homeless people on the street because they used to be in prisons. And regardless, the issue still wasn't solved. It didn't change. Like, the amount of people who are homeless, roughly, didn't change because of that policy. Right? It just meant that more people weren't living with a roof over their heads, even if it was a prisons.
Emily, she's screaming. I'm stealing a bikini.
Okay. I'm a really big advocate for homeless policy because I think that you can tell a lot about a civilization of any sort by how they treat, like, the people who fall through the cracks. And I'm also a big advocate of, like, you can't just rep the success stories. Like, when you're talking about drug addiction, you can't just talk about the girl who, like, accidentally fell into it. You have to talk about the person who really does like doing meth. When you talk about homelessness, you can't talk about the person who, like, by these, like, extraordinary means wound up homeless. You also have to advocate for the person that, like, just started doing drugs and could no longer afford to find a place to live and alienate themselves from their family. And I think that also an issue in LA is that a lot of our homelessness policy really focuses on these, like, rare occurrences to try to, because, like, we need to try to find some, like, morality behind them. And it's like, sometimes even the people who you don't think are worthy of your respect deserve your compassion. Like, even if you don't believe that those people are, like, good or, like, deserving of having a home, like, they should just be out on the streets, which I don't agree with. But even if that's true, like, you should legislate with the semblance of, like, everybody deserves to be treated with compassion and kindness regardless of their background. The problem is not overpopulation. Like, the problem lies in distribution patterns. Yeah. I mean, like, it's really sad. The homeless problem in LA is really bad. And, it's absolutely a lack of housing. It's also the fact that, like, oh my god, like, living in LA is so expensive. And I swear in my lifetime it's gotten, like, a lot more expensive because there's no way that I was able to afford doing the same things I do now at, like, 16 on my tutoring money. Like, going out to eat is so much more expensive. Buying your groceries is so expensive. And you're getting smaller portions. Like, food inflation is so real, it's not even funny. And it just, like, it totally makes sense why the homeless population is so bad. How can you afford to live in a state like California, but specifically in a county like LA? Like, gas alone, nearing $7 a gallon. That's unreal. Well, thank you last pasta, but you can, don't worry, you can shut that down. Is LA worth that much money? In my opinion, no. I don't like it here. I don't care for it here. I think if you're first of all, I love the beach. I really do. You know what there are so many more of in so many different places other than LA? Beaches. A lot of my friends, that's their reasoning, or it's like, the vibe of LA is so nice. And I'm like, the vibe of paying 50% more than you would anywhere else? You like that vibe? My friend and I walked into a fucking Sun Life, which is out an LA expensive froyo place, or right? And when I tell you this shit was $17, when I tell you I went to Yogurtland and I got one, I went like this. It was not even halfway up the bowl, and that shit was $12 at Yogurtland. What magic chemicals? Pray tell, what is so extraordinary about your yogurt? Ugh. And the $17 Sun Life thing, it really got me and Emma, because we were looking at that, and when I tell you, our eyes bulged. And not only was it $17 for a little itty bitty acai bowl, it sounded gross. And then we went to Marmalade Cafe across the street and paid $17 for a real plate of food, and it was fucking phenomenal. There's the thing that I hate, possibly the thing that I hate most about in LA, is the people in LA. I think they are so obsessed with aesthetics, it's unreal. It's laughable. Truly, it's laughable. The things that you can convince these people to buy. The things that rich people will buy, it's gross. It's gross to me. I hate seeing people, spend their money just to spend their money. I think that, because I think that's, something that I need to work on, because that's just a resentment build-up from me, and, not having that. But, I really do hate it, and that is all of LA. It's, Do I live in Beverly Hills? Fuck no. If I lived in Beverly Hills, I would not be angry about rich people. I'd be like, holla! Yes, sir! Spending money just to spend it. Slay! I love rich people. Yeah, LA is just full of a bunch of yes people. When it comes to industry like Hollywood or cuisine, going out or doing something that's going to be a lot expensive because, either, industry for music media. Yeah. So annoying. I still like California even though it's expensive. I know, and some people really love it here. I just don't. I find it unintriguing. Also I don't want to be in the industry. I have no desire for that, so I assume that probably makes me less inclined to like it, because I have no interest in that. I don't care. I don't care that movies are made here. What the fuck? I want to go watch the movies. I don't care where they're made. They could be made in Montana. It doesn't mean I'd want to go live in Montana. And I think that there are people who like my friend Emma fucking loves movies, and so of course she loves it here, But skip. Sorry, I'm going live on TikTok because I'm a slay. Oh, let me go fix the background real quick. I'm just I'm uninterested and unintrigued. Okay. Let's get famous. Just kidding. I don't want to be famous. famous. Do you guys want to be famous? That has, like, never struck me as something that I was interested in, like, even a little bit. I have no desire to walk around and have people know me. I hate it when it happens on campus. I hate when people know me. Like, even, like, when people would know me through mutual friends, I even hated that. I was like, why are you talking about me? Don't talk about me. Like, I'm completely uninterested in that. Movies and TV shows are being made in Vancouver and Georgia. Slay. My mom loves to flex that one. My mom loves to flex anything that's made in Canada. She's a big Canada stan. Literally, imagine everyone. No, like, that is so funny. Somebody just put in the chat, "you fat bitch," and it was held for misogyny, which I find, like, so kind of needlessly hilarious, because it's like, they're like, that's not held for the cuss word, it's held because they think that they're being misogynistic. You're so funny. Aw. I feel bad for people like that. I really do. Like, it must be, like, how unintriguing does your life have to be that you, like, just want to join random... Oh my god, now you're following. That you want to join, like, random lives and, like, be... Well, like, I guess are you assuming that, like, that's gonna make me upset? I don't, like, is that supposed to make me upset? Because I don't understand that. Like, that just wouldn't, like, that just doesn't get to me. But, like, it doesn't, that doesn't affect me. Like, I'm not... Like, what? Am I, like, I would care if, like, some my friends said that to me. Yeah, that would really hurt my feelings. I'd be like, oh my god, like, why the fuck are you calling me a fat bitch? What? But, like, some random person in the chat? Like, that's unintriguing. You know? Like, that, like... Okay. Also, hi TikTok. This is my first live on this channel, first of many. I'm also live on Twitch. Oh, thank you for the likes on my stream here. It helps boost me to a wider audience. And I want to get back. I'm actually still so mad they banned my account. Ah! Yeah, it's really disrespectful. I think they just want a response from you. But, like, what response? Tell us a story about me? Okay, let me think. What's a good story about me? Hello? Okay. When I was 2, almost 3 years old, I went to a Christmas party at my aunt's house, and oh my gosh, thank you for the bits, Rocker. Yes, oh, my hair is annoying me so much. I went to a Christmas party at my aunt's house, and I had just watched Peter Pan, because, like, when you were one of the only children at this thing, which I was, you know what they do? They put Disney movies on for you, which honestly I don't mind. I find that totally okay. But the issue was that they chose Peter Pan, and I was right by a staircase, and I was like, hold the motherfucking phone. Hold the motherfucking phone right now. 'Cause, I was like, I can fly. Period. The end. I got faith, and I got trust. Little did I know that I had to get pixie dust. I guess I didn't watch that part of the movie. But I was like, whatevs, this is chill. And so I climb up on the edge of the railing, like on the opposite side of the actual staircase. And I jump. Slay, because I'm like, it's flight time. You know? Unfortunately about that was that I was wearing a pencil skirt. So if I had just jumped, I would have been fine. The issue was that my pencil skirt caught on this, like, swirly detail in the staircase, And so that caught, and then I fell, and when I fell, I was like this. Right there. And girl, that shit snapped in half. And so I was like mad embarrassed because I was like, God damn, fuck, I can't believe I forgot. Pixie dust, fuck. And I walked up to my mom with my arm dangling, and I was like, hey, queen. Hey, bestie boo. Yeah. And then I got yelled at. So that was my really fun. Nobody saw me do this. This is all me. I was like, I somehow managed to make it all the way up that railing and jump off without anybody seeing me, which I found a little ridiculous, but whatever. So yeah. I thought it was fun. I think that's a bad story. I think I tell it poorly. But, no, I think it's a good story, but I tell it poorly, so I'm sorry for that. LOL. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go stream on Twitch because this is making me a little depressed. So, sometimes TikTok do be making me depressed. Because it's like, I have to start all over again. Hee hee. So happy I am. Okay, should we try to make a TikTok? Hi, Clary.
Hello.
I'm gonna try and make a TikTok right now.
In today's practice,
I don't.
Well, okay.
y'all have fun cleaning this.
I'm so excited for the boys.
Bitch! Did you hear what the fuck I said? Shake some ass! Spin brush, sugar, honey, some life. Put it on me, do it slow and do it right. Get the
I'm trying to find like an audio. Why is this annoying me so much?
Do you not have audio saved for this?
No, this is my new account.
No.
Why don't we try and make this one again? Claire, do you want to be in it?
No.
Okay, then scooch. You guys are watching a production of TikTok. You're welcome. Done. Ugh. This is so annoying. This trend is so hard. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, this is so annoying to watch, but I'm trying.
What is this trend?
It's just a trend. It's like using the fish island. Ugh, I actually hated that one. Just kidding. We're gonna redo this. Oh. Wait, I think we can do it better. Okay, and then she goes, I want a fast trip.
Wow.
Give me a fast trip. Okay. So close. We're gonna go back in the chair for this. Okay. So just get on your knees. I don't want to get on the floor. Oh my god, I should have done this far before so I could set the timer. Silly me. Done. Woo! That was so much work. No, we gotta redo this.
Oh my god. She's still streaming. Okay, I don't have a hairbrush. I have it here. Oh, and your hairbrush is in Mom's car in the side door, I found out. And my hairbrush is downstairs.
What the heck? Where is this? Okay, we're gonna redo this because that was really shit. Okay, we're gonna try to, I'm gonna spin in the chair. Okay, done. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. This part we can redo. Okay. Okay. I'm so brave. Done! Yay! Okay. That's Claire. That's my little sister. And yes, she's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to see this now.
You got to move over.
Slay.
Yeah.
What?
It's my future sister-in-law. Gross.
Yikes.
Mhm.
Yikes, kings.
Good afternoon. Well, still good morning for us, but I'm Claire. Cammy is downstairs, I'm pretty sure.
The affliction of the feelings we wanted more. Oh, oh, 'cause I may be bad, but I'm perfectly good at it. Done.
Yeah, I'm her older sister, actually.
No, you're
You
not.
couldn't tell.
No, you're not.
It's very obvious.
Please. Where's the TikTok preview? Well, I can show it to you guys now. Oh. Okay, so you guys should go like it up because, as we know, Discord or my TikTok is newly fresh, newly new. So yeah, we should slay that. We should consider slaying that video right now. Because I really like it. I thought it was super cute. Slay. She looks like Millie Bobby Brown! No, but I appreciate it, babes.
They said you look like a younger version of Amber Heard a while back.
I don't look anything like Amber Heard. I have like completely different facial features from Amber Heard, but I appreciate it. But yeah, you guys should go and like follow my new TikTok and hype it up because I'm trying very hard. Amber Heard but housebroken. Jesus, that's dark. That's so dark. Like, I just think we have completely different,
You do.
like,
You look nothing.
yeah. I get told that I look a lot like that girl from Titanic.
I
And
don't
Hannah
know.
Baker.
Hannah Baker.
Yeah.
No. You're so tall. She is not so tall. She is like an inch above average height.
Yeah, she is so tall, isn't she?
No.
Yeah, Kate Winslet. Slay. I wanna ride.
I feel like when I'm your age, I'll be taller than you.
What makes you say that?
I don't know, I just have a feeling. And I hope for it.
Yeah, tall women are like so sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Tall women slay.
Mm-hmm.
You look like Lady Dimitri. I don't know how to say that. She wears pearls though. These are just beads. How tall you want to be, Claire?
I want to be like 5'7". Just like the smallest amount taller than you.
I see.
Because then I think that'd be really funny.
Okay.
But I also want to be tall because I think that it looks so cool when people are tall.
Huh.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Funny.
Mhm.
And if you're too
I
cold
will
for
get to
school-
7 foot. That's my goal. I'm gonna make it there.
Yeah, you could def get to 7 foot. That'd be slay.
Mhm.
Kimmy getting lit. Why is Kimmy getting crunk with it?
Lipstick. What's the special occasion?
Life. I just like wearing lipstick. Makes me feel special and slay.
I am 14. That's my age.
I am 14.
I am 14. And I just found out yesterday that by the time I get out of college, I'll only have been like 21 for like a month. It's gonna suck.
I wanna ride, I wanna ride, I wanna ride, I wanna ride.
I know, I think 5'7". I think 5'7" is such like a good height. I want to be 5'7". Oh my god. Then I'd be just as tall as Kiki.
My bestie Kiki.
Yeah, your bestie Kiki. If I was 5'7", I'd be just as tall.
That's ages away. Enjoy every moment.
Mhm.
I don't think so. You'll shoot up soon if you're going to.
I hope I do. I really want to be tall.
I am almost. I've grown a little bit in college. I'm almost 5'6" now.
Yeah, Mom grew an inch
Getting
in
there.
college, in case you haven't heard yet.
Right. Famously. Mom famously grew an inch in college. It's huge. It was a huge deal. Hi Jeff.
I have a little... Oh.
Yeah, a little bit of a Cockney accent. Listen, I ain't no geezer, but I still get the votes. Why? Because I'm right fit, yeah. Because
What are you-
I'm right fit.
What are you saying?
British slang.
Good news. I finished my finals like yesterday on Wednesday, and I got an A on almost all of them. The only one I got a B on was math because I didn't study for it, and I finished the class with a 99%.
So you slay!
Yeah.
Per.
Before I took the final, it was a 101, so even if I didn't take it, I would have gotten an A.
Per. I'm going to end this stream off, and then I'm going to go live on TikTok. So yeah, I'm going to do it without a raid because hopefully you guys come and join me on my new TikTok, which is, the Hotblockchain. Per usual, I appreciate every second with you guys. I'm going to continue reading that book that we started, so don't be mad at me if I finish it. But I think it's really interesting, and I think that we'll have some very weird gender discussions off of it. But I look forward to those, and I hope you guys do as well. I hope that everybody has a really good day. Per usual, check all of the links in my bio, especially if you're gross, because gross people make my beautiful little social media grow a little more. And so do everybody who's nice. So if you're nice or gross, all are welcome. Let's just say the whole population and spectrum of people are welcome. I also have a Discord server for my lovely little community. I'm so happy that we're growing so much. I really love this platform. Love being on Twitch. Love talking with you guys and like discussing like everything from like LA homeless policy to Nietzsche's views on love, which is literally stuff that we did today. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you shortly on TikTok Live if you want to join. If not, no worries. Have a great rest of your day.